my name is Ricky Price, and this is my poster, Current View of Vocational Assessments for Students with Severe Disabilities. IDEA 2004 sets the precedence for the use of appropriate and age-appropriate transition assessments to be used in crafting age-appropriate and measurable post-secondary goals for students with disabilities. And these can span the areas of education, employment, and independent living. However, when special educators are preparing students with disabilities specifically for the world of work, assessments that focus on a student's vocational skills, preferences, knowledge, and/or support needs in various work environments should be utilized. It has been shown in the literature that students with severe disabilities meet their post-secondary employment outcomes substantially lower than those students with other types of disabilities. And data suggests that students with severe disabilities, if they are employed, are usually employed with lower wages, less hours that they're working, and are working in environments that are more excluded than individuals with more high incidence disabilities. So nonetheless, to be effective and efficient, practitioners should be using vocational-based assessments that are appropriate and unique to the needs of students with severe disabilities. It's been noted that the most common types of assessments that are utilized for students with severe disabilities are more formalized, meaning that they're paper and pencil types of assessments, more questionnaire based, and things that are produced. However, formalized assessments may not be appropriate for all types of students, especially those with more severe and significant disabilities. Given the often unique and extensive nature of the supports that they need, it is imperative that vocational assessments that are used be appropriate in how the skills are being assessed with these students. For this review, the literature was searched to better understand the current layout of vocational-based assessments for students with severe disabilities. Questionnaire and interview-based assessments. Assessments within this category gather information from students through things such as interviews, questionnaires, or rating scales. Questionnaire and interview-based assessments provide special education personnel with a way to collect very valuable information about a student's transition to work. Nevertheless, it may warrant students with severe disabilities to not fully participate in the assessment process, as a part of the knowledge that is gained from the assessments might solely be reported by people other than the student due to potential communication challenges. Observation and performance-based assessments. Assessments within this category gather information about a student through their participation and performance in a particular setting. These types of assessments might sometimes be labeled as informal. However, these types of assessments can both be structured or structured evaluations. Additionally, with observation and performance-based assessments, students are given the opportunity to be fully engaged in the assessment process, providing them with the means to have agency over their transition to work. Nevertheless, these types of assessments also have their limitations. The creation or use of these types of assessments can be very time-consuming for practitioners and effortful for special education personnel to put together. Given the number of responsibilities educators have, time is of the essence when planning and implementing and interpreting assessment results. These assessments are usually conducted in the community, and personnel could face additional barriers due to certain community constraints, such as location or transportation, or a lack of involvement in businesses willing to participate in the assessment process. Lastly, are picture-based assessments. Assessments within this category gather information through a student through the selection of illustrations of work activities and environments. As applicable as these types of assessments can be, especially for individuals with severe disabilities who might have limited communication skills. And so pictures are a great way to gather information and to communicate with them. They're not without their limitations. Most of the picture-based assessments that have been found are forced choice, meaning that students are presented with a specific number of pictures, approximately 3, and can only select one image from the available options. To complete this effectively, the student needs to know what the picture resembles and all the components of it. Regardless of the assessments that exist, considerations should be still had on the appropriate use of vocational-based assessments for students with severe disabilities. For example, if a student has no verbal communication, conducting an interview would be inappropriate. Even though vital information can be gained from other informants in a student's life through interviews, it removes them from being fully involved in the assessment process. These assessments also can be limited by how they're measured. For example, picture-based assessments may elicit data about a student's interest in work. However, it's not looking at their performance at the job. Therefore, what supports would they possibly need in a work setting? It is recommended that a series of tools be used in the assessment process, both informal and formal, picture-based and performance-based, and interviews. This ensures that the data that is collected across students' strengths, interests, knowledge, performance, and supports can be gathered together to support them in their transition to work. Nevertheless, there is still a limited number of assessments, vocational-based assessments, that are available for special educators to choose from when assessing the vocational skills of their students with severe disabilities. Future research should look into these notions.